came into my life. Your voice melted my heart into wine. The days seem so short, I woke early every day. I always think real hard on everything you say. Are you the one for me? Or am I just kidding myself, digging too deep? Ooh, is it the right thing to do? How is your charm working on me? How is your charm working on me? Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Na, 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 na. I toss and turn, beating my brain. I hope this dam will break, wash this feeling away. Get on with my life and move on from this time. I'll love you for a moment, then I will be alright. Ooh, yeah. Na, 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 na. I'll remember you, your smile, and I hope you'll cherish me for a while. The laughter, our tears, hold on for many years. Yeah, 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 oh, yeah. Are you the one for me? Or am I just kidding myself, digging too deep? Ooh, is it the right thing to do? How is your charm working on me? Are you the one for me? Or am I just kidding myself, digging too deep? Ooh, is it the right thing to do? How is your charm working on me? How is your charm working on me? How is your charm working on me?
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Shay, what a great song.
Definitely.
If you've just sat down and started watching, you are watching Turn It Up WA. And where are we going now?
We are going back to the experimental showcase to talk to the people who make events like this happen. So, how do you classify someone as experimental?
I think generally experimental music is music that's otherwise unclassifiable. It doesn't fit easily into other genres. It doesn't do what music regularly does in terms of structure or form. Often the musicians are using their instruments for different means other than playing melodies or playing rhythms. They're doing different things with it. So it's a lot of different things.
So what's been your favourite example of experimental music coming out of WA?
There are heaps at the moment. There's always been a really strong experimental scene in Perth. I've got lots and lots of favourites, and you know, a lot of them are people that I've seen make heaps of different music over the course of, you know, a career. A career spanning many different styles and doing all sorts of things. So it's hard. It's hard to pick one. But the bottom line is there's heaps of great experimental music being made in this town.
For anyone that isn't into experimental music at the moment but might like to understand what it's all about, how do you kind of start listening and understand what they're trying to do?
I think there are a number of bands in town that are doing things that are different, that are a little bit more out there, and maybe have experimental elements but aren't totally crazy and, just complete noise. So maybe you want to try checking out a band. And I guess there are genres of music that incorporate elements of experimental. Post-rock, for example, is one of them. And some, I guess, indie rock bands are, have elements that are maybe somewhat experimental. Maybe those genres are gateway genres.
Are you finding that the popularity of experimental music is growing at the moment?
I think it's always been pretty strong, but I think it's gotten to the point where there are lots of different approaches, and lots of bands are taking those approaches and incorporating them. So I guess in a way it's a really good time or a good opportunity for people who maybe don't know a lot about experimental music to get into it.
Hey guys, how you doing out there? We got Jacinta Raziel, known as Hungry Little Monkey. Wow, there's a lot going on in your music life, Jacinta. Tell us about it.
Working on getting some songs together at the moment for an album release, hopefully in the next couple of months, which has been a while coming together, but yeah.
Yeah, this is actually your debut album, isn't it? And you said that you've been working on it for quite some time now. Exactly how long?
Yeah, probably 2 to 3 years, yeah.
And the style of music, what is that?
I'd find it hard to describe it, but I guess sort of a bit psychotic electronica is probably a good way.
Have you always been in this genre?
No, not at all. I've been in, my first band was doing more indie pop rock kind of stuff. I then went into a band that was doing more math rock, really kind of crazy stuff from a lot of guys who were interested in Mike Patton inspired music.
Wow, Mike Patton.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I guess I've always had an interest in music that's a little bit unusual.
So what made you want to break away from all that and go solo?
I guess it was having been in a few bands where you just kind of put a bit of time into things and then people go their own individual ways, and so this was one way of me being able to control everything myself. So I guess though I'm doing electronic music, there's still I guess sounds that are a bit more guitar inspired.
Do you produce it yourself? Have you got a producer? You produce it yourself at home?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Impressive. So we're actually going to be checking out your music videos soon. Lay Your Head Down. Tell us about it. What is it about?
I was having some sleeping problems some time ago, and so that was inspired by that. I guess most of my songs are inspired by basic things that are happening with myself, but then fictionalized into,
So when you say having sleeping problems, does that mean that during the night when there's absolutely nothing to do, you used to just sit down and write some music, write that particular song,
I
perhaps?
wish that was how it was going, but no. No, it was like the lack of sleep was fairly nightmarish, although I wasn't having nightmares. But yeah, and then the music comes later in the pain of it all.
How hard is it to express the music that's there, to merge it with a video and images in your head?
It was quite an interesting process, actually. I was working with the director, Jenny Fay, and we basically just nutted out ideas together, which was a really interesting process. So,
Definitely.
yeah.
Well, I reckon we better take a look at it. This is Lay Your Head Down by A Hungry Little Monkey. That's it from us for today, though.